After, I guess because the trial is over, even though the DA has already said he's going to retrial the case, these guys who have already testified are still witnesses in the case. Even though, now, Lally has not made a witness list yet of who he plans to call for the next trial. So you're like in between trials, so I don't know if that's like a gray area, but NBC 10 goes to Proctor's house. This is his house, and they're in the street. She did not from what I've seen in this video, and I've watched it a couple times, this reporter from NBC 10 Boston not once even get one on the curb, let alone go in their yard. Okay, so she's just politely asking his thoughts on the outcome of the case, right? And Proctor yells at her at the top of his lungs, the blankety blanket off his lawn, falsely accuses this reporter of being on his property, and she is well in the street. At this point where you see right here, she's like literally in the middle of the street. And so you see this thing right here, like this is where the curb is. She's several feet behind this. She's not even, she never once that I saw in this video went up on his property. He was just, I guess, getting out of his car. But here's the thing. Blogger Boy was charged. They're in Canton. Now, I don't know if this is Canton. I don't know where Proctor lives. This may not be the same town as Canton. I don't know. But I think it was a state statute that they were charging him with for doing a drive-by of witnesses' houses. Like, you know, they don't allow that. You cannot approach a witness. You cannot try to coerce them or intimidate them, which they're not in any way intimidating, but you know, what's his name was pretty aggressive. But anyways, I guess they organized a rally to drive by the residences with bullhorns and whatnot, and you're not allowed to do that according to state statute. So all these people are doing is approaching him while they're standing in the street, which to my mind, I'm like, are they like testing Lally to like, okay, you went after this guy, you know, but we're bigger. Like, we're a bigger corporation, so, like, they're testing the waters to see if they'll come after them, NBC 10, right? Like, let's see if they'll do the same thing to them as what they did to Turtle Boy, right? Turtle Boy, I think he did violate the statutes, but it's like batting it at gnats when you got logs in your eyes. Like, yes, he did record people. He did do that. In violation of, you know, Massachusetts statutes, you cannot record people when you can't call them up on the phone, specifically on the phone, and record them. And it doesn't, and according to Massachusetts statute, you can't, even if they're aware that you're recording, right? Now, I did find a 2021 case, a federal court case, that said that as long as they were given notice and they continue to talk, then, you know, that's kind of treated as consent. So it kind of sort of overthrew at least part of that statute. But if they say, stop calling me, and then they hang up and you call them again and you're live streaming when you're doing it, yeah, that's a pretty clear violation. So, but these people aren't calling them on the phone and recording them. They're just standing in the street, and they are at their residence, though, so I don't know if that violates the statute because the trial's over. They didn't do this before the trial. Now the trial's over, even though Lally says he's going to, you know, technically, I'm just like, okay, I think that what's his name could probably actually use this, that other journalists did, you know, of course he actually went on their property. He's knocking on their doors and stuff and driving by their houses with bullhorns, and anyways, I think that they're approaching him very not passively. I mean, all they did was ask his thoughts. That was it. They weren't like accusing him. Okay, see here, see where she is? She is not on his property. He just wanted to ask him some questions. And he goes in the house after he cusses at her and yells at her. And then, of course, she calls, this is his wife, calling Karen Reed a murderer. Anyways, I think that this will probably be used at trial, that they're out there yelling that she's a murderer. And I'm like, well, I guess you have your right to your opinion, especially on your own property, but there he is. He's gonna scream at her, get the F off my lawn, and like, he's not even on her, she's in the street. That just shows you. Do you see how far away she is? See how far away she is? And he's already yelling at her. He was yelling at her before she was even halfway across the street. Anyways, So this is NBC 10. I'll put the link in the description to the video. I don't think that but I'm curious because there's several statutes that Blogger Boy is charged with. There's, I think, an assault on his pregnant girlfriend or something like that. I don't know, some domestic thing. And then there was the recording people without their consent. That one, yeah, I think they pretty much got a slam dunk case on him. Depends on which time did they say that, which time that he called them and recorded. I mean, and then the drive-by people's houses with using bullhorns and because there's a statute that says you can't drive by witnesses' houses. You can't approach the residence. I mean, it's real specific. The statute's actually really specific. But anyways, yeah, so, but with them doing the same thing, if Lally doesn't go after them and they only go after Turtle Boy, I think that kind of shows a little bit of really personal bias. So it'll be curious to see how this plays out. Because this Proctor, who is the state trooper, literally on camera falsely accused a media reporter of being on his lawn. And I'm curious if he goes and reports falsely on her. Because remember what happened during the middle of the trial? Proctor falsely accused Karen's lawyer of harassing them because he met with Lucky at a certain place. You know, he met with have a conversation with one of his witnesses, and he's not from here. And Proctor falsely accused her lawyer. So now you have him yet again falsely accusing a reporter while they're recording. It's now for the whole world to see how he falsely accuses people. And this is the same trooper who is under investigation, who said horrible things about her, violated HIPAA, sharing her personal medical stuff. And he's just literally, after the trial, falsely accused a reporter. That falsely accused her of trespassing, saying, "Get the blink off my lawn," and she's way over there in the middle of the street, nowhere even near his lawn, right? Like, did you see that? Okay, see how far away she is? Now here he is, he's over here. As soon as he comes around here, she's like, you can't see all this stuff here, but she's like literally in the middle of the street. So he's already yelling at her. And I just can't believe this guy did this. It's good that he did, though. Look. "Get the blink off my lawn." And you listen to it, and she was like 5-6 feet away from the curb, not on his lawn at all. And he probably went in the house and called the law and said that these people were on his property. They need to get the report and see if the radio log, and see if he called and made a false report on her. So it'll be curious to see how this plays out. But anyways, that's it for this one.